Assalamu alaikum. I welcome you all to the YouTube channel of Anjuman I Islam's A.A.K English Secondary School. I am your English teacher, Miss Tehseen Mistry, and today we are going to deal with a story that we did in first half from our English textbook of Standard 10. In the first part of the story, which is the thief story, we discussed about two boys who were strangers, but by chance they met each other at a wrestling match. One of the boy was a 20-plus-year-old boy. He was a freelance worker, and the other was a teenager, and he was a thief. So this thief, he was always on the lookout for a suitable target, and during that wrestling match, he spotted our target, who was Anil, and he by chance became friends with him. He started living with him. In the process of living together, Anil taught this little thief quite a few things like reading letters, framing words and sentences, and also he taught him about numbers, addition, and subtraction. So, unknowingly, for some time, this thief, who had taken up the name of Hari Singh, he somewhere deep inside he started liking Anil. He actually adored him. He was very thankful, grateful to him that Anil was taking that much of pain to teach him so many things. And for a few months maybe, this little thief, he completely forgot about his real identity, and he identified Anil as a true friend. But one day, something very, very unknowingly strange happened, and that is how the things changed. So we saw that this thief of ours, he one day saw Anil come back home with a bundle of notes. So looking at that money, the thief suddenly uh, he realized that this boy Anil, he will waste this money on his friends if he doesn't steal the money. And so his thief instinct came back to him, and he decided to rob Anil of that money that he had brought. So that is where we had stopped in the first part of the story. Now we shall continue with the second part. So we'll read on page number 9, page number 10, sorry, and we'll continue from there. Anil was asleep. A beam of moonlight stepped over the balcony and fell on the bed. I sat up on the floor considering the situation. If I took the money, I could catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. Slipping out of the blanket, I crept up to the bed. Anil was sleeping peacefully. His face was clear and unlined. Even I had more marks on my face, though mine were mostly scars. So this little thief here that we can see, who is in deep thoughts. Now he has decided to steal the money from Anil, and he decides for one fine night he plans out his entire that process of robbing Anil, and he gets that opportunity one fine night. So he just during that night, late at night, when Anil is deep asleep, as we can see this boy here who's sleeping, he is Anil. So this boy Anil was sleeping, he was deep asleep, and our little thief who is standing right here, he thought that this is the appropriate time to actually implement the plan and rob Anil of his money. So he thinks that this is the right time, and he should at least try. He should take the money, and with the money he should run away. So not just running away, he had also identified, and he had done a lot of research, and he knew that if he steals the money now, then he can catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow, and he'll be far away from Anil's reach. So this is what the little thief had planned, and he was ready to implement that plan at that very given moment. My hand slid under the mattress, searching for the notes. When I found them, I drew them out without a sound. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side towards me. I was startled and quickly crawled out of the room. So this little boy, who is the thief, who has taken the name of Hari Singh, so he very quickly he got into Anil's room, and very slyly, very smartly, he slowly put his hand under the mattress, because he knew that Anil had kept the money under the mattress. So he put his hand very slowly and carefully under the mattress. He searched for the notes here and there, and slowly he removed that entire bundle of notes out. But while he was doing so, suddenly this boy Anil, he changed his side, and he turned towards Hari. So that for a moment was a bit startling for Hari, but he did not move, or he did not make any noise, or he did not just leave the notes there. He was waiting patiently for Anil to settle, and once it was all done, he very quickly took the notes, and he very quickly ran out of the room. So here is our thief, our little thief here, who is Hari, and he has taken the money, and he is now running away with the money. When I was on the road, I began to run. Of course, he did not want to take any chances. So when he came out of the house with that money, he started running away from the house. I had the notes at my waist, held there by the string of my pajamas. I slowed down to a walk and counted the notes. 600 rupees in 50s. I could live like an oil-rich Arab for a week or two. So after running for some time, this boy Hari, he was very excited to count how much money he had, stolen. So after running for some time, he slowed down, and somewhere in the middle of a road or a street, where he, first he observed the surroundings, and he realized that there's nobody around. So he slowed down, he stood in the middle of the road, and he removed the money, and he started counting the money. So when he counted, he realized that it is total 600 rupees, and all the notes are in 50s. So a thought came to his mind that with this 600 rupee, he could live like an oil-rich Arab for maybe a week or two. So he could spend the money, he could eat whatever he wanted to, he could buy whatever he wanted to at least for a week or two maybe. So he was very happy that after a very long time he has managed to rob somebody, and the money that he got, which was around 600 rupees, that was a lot of money for this little boy. So he was extremely happy, at least at that given point of time. When I reached the station, I did not stop at the ticket office. I had never bought a ticket in my life, but dashed straight to the platform. So when our little thief, when he reached the station, because we have already discussed that he had pre-planned everything, and he knew that he could catch 10:30 local to express to Lucknow. So when he reached the station, now already he was a thief, he was doing a lot of bad things. So why would he take the pain to wait at the ticket counter like a good man, a man who follows all the rules and regulations? So he did not wait at the ticket counter to buy the ticket. He immediately ran towards the platform. The Lucknow Express was just moving out. So as we can see on the screen here, on the platform, now this is a very strange and very, you can say, it's a lonely station. So the boy is the only passenger who's standing here, maybe, and the train, as we can see, is leaving the station. So the Lucknow Express was just moving out of the station. The train had still to pick up speed, and I should have been able to jump into one of the carriages, but I hesitated. Now the train had just started to leave the station, and if this boy Hari, who was the thief, if he wanted, he could have just ran towards the train and he could have boarded any one compartment at least. But he was hesitant. He did not run, or he did not even try to board the train for some reason. I can't explain, and I lost the chance to get away. So the boy, maybe something, he felt that he had done something wrong, or maybe he was a bit confused about why, despite of the fact that he could have, boarded the train, but he did not even try to catch the train. So there was something not right, something that was holding him back, and he could not understand what that was. So here, as we can see on screen, the boy is thinking to himself that there is something not right, something maybe that he has done which is not allowing him to just go away like that. And he maybe he got a sense of guilt. That could be one reason. He realized that whatever he did to his friend Anil was extremely wrong, and maybe that could have stopped the boy from actually running away with the money. When the train had gone, I found myself standing alone on the deserted platform. I had no idea where to spend the night. I had no friends, believing that friends were more trouble than help. So the train had already left the platform, the train had gone now, and there was nobody on that station. He was standing alone on that deserted, empty platform. And for some time, this boy was very confused that now what should he do? Because he had planned to leave that place and to run away to Lucknow, but the train had already left now, so he couldn't go to Lucknow. Secondly, he was apprehensive that what if Anil is awake? So if I go back home and if Anil catches me, so there will be a lot of questions that he would ask me. Maybe he would give me to the police or something like that. So he was confused that where will he spend that night now, because he cannot go back to Anil's house, and nor does he have any other place to go to. Also, he got one more thought that in that entire place, in that city where he was living with Anil, he had no other friend. Anil was his first and only friend, and he had, ditched him as well. So he had no friends, so he had no other place to go to. Then, and I did not want to make anyone curious by staying at one of the small hotels near the station. The only person I knew really well was the man I had robbed. Leaving the station, I walked slowly through the bazaar. So this boy, he did not want to, because he had money. So if he wanted, he could have, stayed at a hotel. But he was very small, so he did not want to make anybody curious, or he did not want people to doubt him, and so he did not go to any hotel or any room and stay there for that night. And the only person he knew in that city was Anil, and he couldn't go to Anil's house as well because he did not know what if Anil is awake. So what will he do? What will he tell him? So for that time, when so many thoughts were going on in his mind, this boy Hari, he left the station slowly, disheartened. He was ashamed of what he had done, and he walked out of the station. He was now moving through the lonely bazaars of that city all alone at night. In my short career as a thief, I had made a study of men's faces when they had lost their goods. The greedy man showed fear, the rich man showed anger, the poor man showed acceptance. But I knew that Anil's face, when he discovered the theft, would show only a touch of sadness, not for the loss of money, but for the loss of trust. Now, this little boy, he was a thief by profession, and in his very very short career as a thief, he had actually studied people. Whoever he had robbed, he actually studied those people. What were they before he robbed them, and how did they behave after he robbed them? So he had a few inferences which he made. So he says that people who are greedy, they are always fearful, because they want more and more and more for themselves, and they're not ready to even lose one single penny. So they are always fearful that what if somebody robs me, what will happen next, what will happen next. So they are fearful. People who are extremely rich, they get angry when somebody actually, robs them or betrays them. They get angry, but then after a certain point of time, they just get along with things, they accept and they move ahead. And the third category is the category of poor people who cannot do anything about that situation. If somebody robs them or betrays them, they simply have to accept it because they know that nobody is going to hear it. Nobody is going to hear their plight. So these people, these were the three categories of people that Hari had observed, and he had made these very fine inferences about them. But his friend, his man Anil, was completely different. He knew for sure that when Anil will come to know about the robbery, he will be extremely, extremely sad, not because he lost all the money, but because he trusted Hari a lot, and Hari had ultimately betrayed him. So Anil was a man who believed in human relations and not all these materialistic things. That was the inference that this thief made about Anil. I found myself, I found myself in the Maidan and sat down on a bench. The night was chilly, it was early November, and a little drizzle added to my discomfort. Soon it was raining quite heavily, my shirt and pajamas stuck to my skin, and a cold wind blew the rain across my face. So he was walking, and there were a number of thoughts that were coming in his mind, and suddenly he realized that he was in an open maidan, in an open ground, and there was a little bench there. So he just sat there for some time. Now, because it was the month of November, early November, so we know that November, December, it's like the onset of winter. So this boy, Hari, he just sat down on the bench, and again he was thinking about Anil, ifs and whats. And suddenly he started feeling very cold. Then it started raining heavily. So his outfit, it stuck to his body, and the wind was blowing very swiftly. So he started feeling cold. I went back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of the clock tower. The clock showed midnight. I felt for the notes. They were damp from the rain. So when suddenly the weather changed, this boy, he got up and he went towards the bazaar, towards the main market, and he sat under the shelter of a clock tower. And while he was sitting there, he realized that it was 12 at night, and then he suddenly touched the notes which he had in his pocket, and he realized that the notes, they were damp, they were completely wet now. Anil's money. In the morning he would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema, but now I had it all. I couldn't cook his meals, run to the bazaar, or learn to write whole sentences any more. So when he touched the money and he realized that the notes have completely become wet, he thought that this was Anil's hard-earned money, and now it is completely, damp and wet, and maybe it's of no use anymore. So he thought that what if I would have been at Anil's house now. So in the morning, Anil would have given me maybe 2 or 3 rupees. With those 2 3 rupees, I could go to watch a movie maybe. But now I had all the money, but I couldn't use it because of my guilt. And then he also thought that after coming back from the movie, I could have cooked food for the both of us. Then, you know, maybe after eating the food, Anil would have taught me how to write sentences or maybe numbers or something like that. So it was a daily routine that he followed. And suddenly all of that came back to him when he was sitting alone under that clock tower and regretting his actions. I had forgotten about them in the excitement of the theft. Whole sentences, I knew, could one day bring me more than a few hundred rupees. It was a simple matter to steal, and sometimes just as simple to be caught. But to be a really big man, a clever and a respected man, was something else. I should go back to Anil, I told myself, if only to learn to read and write. So he, in that excitement of stealing that money, looking at that money, that greed that he got, that I should take the money from him, it belongs to me, etc. This boy, he completely forgot about what beautiful life he had created for himself with his friend Anil. So he thought that, if Anil taught me, and if I learned to write whole sentences and some additional things, then one day I could be a respectful man, a man who would be respected by people, because only because of the fact that I am educated. Maybe I could have got a better job for myself. I could earn better for myself, and all this stealing and robbing, it would have all been in the past. So he was regretting his actions, and suddenly a very strong thought came to his mind that he should go back to Anil's house immediately, and this would be only so that he could at least learn to read and to write sentences and numbers. So it was only and only that thought of being an educated man that actually prompted our thief Hari to go back to Anil and continue with his life as it was before. I hurried back to the room, feeling very nervous, for it is much easier to steal something than to return it undetected. So this boy, as we can see now, Anil is still asleep, and our thief, he has returned back to Anil's house very cleverly, without making any single sound. He entered the house because he had a duplicate key to the house. He entered the house, he entered Anil's room, and he was very nervous because he didn't know now whether Anil is awake or he's still sleeping, whether he knows about the robbery or he doesn't. So very nervously he entered Anil's room, because he thought that it was very easy to betray somebody, but it was very difficult that somebody has caught you, and then you have to give explanations and prove that you are guilty about what you have done. I opened the door quietly, then stood in the doorway in clouded moonlight. Anil was still asleep. I crept to the head of the bed, and my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand. I remained still for a minute. Then my hand found the edge of the mattress and slipped under it with the notes. So this boy, for some time, he was just looking and staring at Anil. He was feeling guilty that Anil is such a nice person. He's so generous. He has been so considerate. Very selflessly, he has been helping Hari. But whatever Hari did to him was absolutely evil. So this boy, he realized his mistake, but then he knew that he has to keep that money again back in the same position, in the same location from where he had stolen them. So very quietly he removed the notes, and very smartly he put the notes back again under the mattress. I awoke late next morning to find that Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hands towards me. There was a 50-rupee note between his fingers. My heart sank. I thought I had been discovered. So he placed the notes back under the mattress, and then he went and he slept on his couch. And next morning he woke up very late. Our thief, he woke up very late. But when he woke up, he found that Anil, he had already made the tea and the breakfast. And when he went ahead to maybe talk to Anil, uh, Anil just removed one note of 50 rupee and he gave the note to Hari. So this boy Hari, he was confused that why suddenly early in the morning is he giving me this money. So his heart, it began to sink. He felt a bit depressed, he felt a bit anxious, and he, for a moment, he thought that maybe Anil has discovered whatever I did the last night. I made some money yesterday, he explained. Now you'll be paid regularly. So when this boy Hari, he was looking at Anil confused, Anil told him that, yesterday I made some money, I earned some money, and now I have a full job at hand, so I will be paying you regularly. So it's not as if you're working for me and I'm doing something for you, but it would be a proper like you'll be working for me and I'll be paying you whatever you deserve. My spirits rose, but when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. So, after listening to what Anil said, Hari's spirits they rose. That is, he became very, very hopeful that okay, he hasn't discovered anything, and now finally he'll be paying me. So there were a lot of happy thoughts that were suddenly going in his head. But then when he took the note, that 50 rupee note from Anil's hand, he realized that the note was still wet from the previous night's rain. Today we'll start writing sentences, he said. So this boy, Anil, he told Hari that from today onwards we will start writing sentences. Till now we were only dealing with letters and words and numbers, but from today onwards I'll be paying you also, plus I will be teaching you how to write simple sentences, how to read them, how to frame sentences. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself without any effort. So this boy Hari, he understood that Anil has discovered whatever he did. Anil has discovered his theft. But Anil did not question him, did not ask him why he did that, how he did that, why he came back, and he did not even give the boy to the police. So look at the generosity, look at the kindness of this boy Anil. So when Hari realized that his friend Anil is such a good person, suddenly he smiled at Anil in the most sweetest way, and that smile, it came automatically because he was grateful to Anil that despite of knowing the truth, Anil was not telling the boy anything. He was not questioning him about his actions. He did not take any action against him, and also he was being extra nice and extra kind towards Hari. So this actually indicated and this proved to Hari that his friend Anil is a real gem of a person. He realized his mistake, but then he was extra grateful to Anil for being so accepting towards Hari despite of knowing his reality. And that is how the two boys, they started again living together as the bestest of friends. So this is our story, and the moral of the story is that human values and human relationships, they are very, very important in every person's life, no matter we take them for granted. But there comes a point in each one of our lives when we realize that our values, human values of maybe helpfulness, selflessness, kindness, and our relationships with our family and friends, they are the most important assets of our life. They have the power to change the complete personality of a person. So the values that we have or we inculcate in ourselves, and the relationships that we make with people, these two things have the power to change our personality. So no matter how bad a person you are today, but if you have a very strong value system, if you have really good people who keep motivating you to become a better individual, then definitely you can change your entire personality, and that too for the better. So we all should try to use this bond of relations to change a person for the better, instead of questioning people, targeting people, and instead of just taking these relations for granted. We should instead use these bonds of our relationship with each other to change a person for the better. If you know that somebody, who's a friend, who's a family, and you know that he's not a very good person or he has some flaws, so instead of just pointing out their flaws time and again, and holding them responsible for every little thing, we should try to change the person for the better. And that could be by accepting them the way they are, and not always pinpointing at their flaws, rather trying to tell them how good they are, right? So this is the crux of the story, and this is the moral that we all need to learn from this story. So I hope that we have enjoyed the story with the final value that we learned today. Um, in the next session, definitely we'll start with another topic. So for today, thank you for staying up with us, and have a great day ahead. Thank you very much, all of you.